Okay, my name is Cathie Browning and I'm with Stonehill Middle School. I teach 6th grade social studies and this is my first year.
Thank you for being here, Cathie. So what are you still learning?
I am learning everything. I think part of the challenge of being a first-year teacher is understanding that everything's new and there's a learning curve on everything. Of course, there's certain things that I'm more comfortable with than others. A few of the things that I'd really like to spend a lot of time this summer reflecting on and really working on are my transitions from one activity to another, particularly when the kids enter and exit my classroom, and also just in between the various learning activities that we do. I'd like to make them a little more efficient and a little less chaotic. My planning with time, in other words, how long certain activities are going to take, since I was executing them this year for the first time. I'm not always sure how long it's going to take to get students engaged and how long it's going to take to complete the activity and teach the activity. Especially when it comes to stations. I've learned I'm trying to orient my classroom more toward student project-based learning, and I'm never quite sure how that's all going to turn out from a times perspective. I also want to expand my content knowledge. I'm going to be reading a lot this summer. I plan on taking a couple of courses to expand my knowledge of U.S. history. And the final thing is I had 2 inclusion classes this year, and I'd like to work on more efficient ways to collect data on students. I have, about midway through the year, one of my deans gave me a great suggestion on how to do that, but I kind of want to perfect that.
Thank you. If you had to do this year all over again, what do you wish you had had more support with?
Okay, first of all, I had great support from Loudoun County Public Schools all the way around. I felt on a teacher level, I had support. On an administrative level, I had support. And from the admin representatives. It was incredible how much support I got. So the one thing that I would have liked to have known a little bit more about were the library resources. There's so many history videos and resources for both teachers and students in our LCPS Go page, Library Resources tab, that I wish that I'd known where some of those videos were before I started planning my lessons.
Thank you. What was the most helpful thing your mentor did for you this year?
Well, I had a wonderful mentor. She was positive and encouraging, and she established that first. So when it came time to offer me suggestions on what I could work on, I felt safe around her. I didn't feel like I was being evaluated. I felt like she was truly there to support me become a better teacher, and I really appreciated that. She helped me prioritize my schedule, and so I didn't miss meetings. You know, everything was new at the beginning, and things would kind of fly in and out, and I was still working on establishing my routine. So she would check in with me and say, you know, don't forget we have a CLT meeting, or we have a department meeting, or we have a staff meeting, or she just checked in with little things like that every day just to make sure I was where I needed to be. She was great with helping me on common assessments. Our school is a common assessment school, and so I needed help on how to implement that from a timing standpoint, especially since I was modifying tests for certain students. And she really helped me learn how to connect my history content to where the kids were. We both were on the same page with trying to connect current pop culture to U.S. history to 1865 and make it relevant to students. And she had all kinds of great ideas there, and so we shared that priority.
Great, thank you. What was the most helpful thing your administrator did for you?
Well, administrator in this question is singular, but I have to say there were several administrators that were just really fantastic. Starting off with my 6th grade dean, Doug Bauer. He was a history teacher before he became a dean. So I could always pop into his office and ask him, hey, Doug, how did you approach this particular SOL strand? Or, you know, help me out here, or what do I do in this situation? And he always had a great answer. He was always accessible and positive and always came up with great ideas. Katie Clark, our principal, couldn't have been more supportive in terms of creating a safe environment for me to take risks on instructional strategies. I'm a pretty creative person, and She never made me feel like I was going off the rails with my ideas. She was always very supportive, and I really appreciated that. I did a lot of things outside of the classroom. We went outside and made human globes. I had an art show, a Native American art show in the library where the kids created Native American artifacts, and the parents came and viewed the artifact. They also wrote a paragraph about the artifact to explain how it was used, and that was really a lot of fun. They sang rap songs about the taxes that King George imposed on the colonists. We had skits, we did all kinds of stuff, and Cathie was always just go for it, and it was refreshing to work for somebody like that. And then from a Loudoun County public school standpoint, you know, Miriam would come in and observe me and give me all kinds of great suggestions on some of the things that we, you know, talked about in question 1, some of the things that I want to improve on. So I always felt like I was always surrounded by people who weren't judging me, but who really cared about me becoming a better teacher, and I just really appreciated that.
Thank you. What advice would you give to your mentor about working with new teachers?
Just to keep up the good work and, you know, be flexible, which Allie O'Leary is. She's positive and upbeat, and if she continues doing what she did with me, she's going to be great.
Thank you so much for your time, Cathie.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.